22 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock in Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. It's time for a conversation about HRMATT. The Legacy Awards Ceremony is taking place on Saturday, the 11th of November at 6 p.m. at the Hyatt Regency. Joining us in studio this morning is Cavell Joseph St. Omer, the president of HRMATT, and Alsha Long, director of membership at HRMATT. Welcome, ladies, and good morning.
Good morning,
Natasha.
Good morning, Natasha.
It's a pleasure to have both of you with us on the show this morning to talk about this. Now, you're no stranger to the show.
Yes.
It's wonderful to have both of you back for this discussion. Before we get into it, though, let's talk a little bit about HRMATT and how HRMATT started and what the mission is. We'll start with you.
Okay, so HRMATT started 34 years ago, actually, this year, founded by, some significant people in Trinidad's history: Gordon Draper, Maxine Barnett, Glenn Wilson, and others. These 6 persons came together and formed this organization, recognizing that it was necessary, given the role that HR plays in organization, and the fact that the role of HR back then, because I just said 34 years ago, so it was dealing primarily with personal issues, but they recognized strategically more will be required of HR practitioners,
right.
And the association will certainly enable and assist practitioners to be better, to do better, and to help us through events such as this, as well as our certification and education programs, to prepare our practitioners for the evolving world of work. HR has since changed between then and now, and we have a more strategic role in organizations, and it's for that we felt it was time to really celebrate our practitioners for the work that they've been doing over the years and recognize their service to organizations and recognize those companies that have good HR practices as well.
Definitely, and it's something that's critical to not just corporate, but all different sorts of businesses throughout the world, HR, and sometimes overlooked, as you said earlier on, prior to now. Many people thought it was just personal, but there's so much more, but you need that touch. And I can only imagine, being director of membership, you are able to get into contact with so many different people, and you've seen that growth in HRMATT as well. What has it been like for you, seeing that growth?
Well, of course, as she said, of course, but from the founding members, just developing the HR profession, and it's just, we want to be out there just like the other professions. So, we have lawyers, have the associations, we have the economist society. It's good that, HR professionals also, band together as well. And as director of membership, I am entrenched with, really just finding and, getting the benefits out of, us being together as a unit, as a society, as a profession. All right. So we have, just enabling, networking and engagements. We also look at supporting the development of our HR professionals, making sure that they get, the different organization workshops and events and initiatives that will support how they promote and how they develop their organizations. So it's all about people, because of course people is very important as a resource on organizations. People are very instrumental in making sure that companies get the bottom line. So it's all about supporting and supporting their overall development mentally, socially, how they interact and network with each other, and it's all towards the development of business and society.
Thank you so much for that, Alsha. And speaking about events, let's talk about this event that's taking place. I mean, this is something that I know is going to be memorable, but what went in behind the scenes to say, all right, it's time to actually have an award ceremony?
So when I became president, I just completed my 2nd year. The board back then decided strategically it was really time for us to reflect on the work that HR did, especially since we were just coming out of the pandemic. And anyone could see the role HR played during that difficult time in ensuring business continued, supporting employees during that challenging time, because there was a lot of struggle happening within organizations. So it was a focus on keeping business going and ensuring that we get through this together. So we felt the time had come for us to celebrate the work that practitioners were doing and to create also a network of practice that you can now look to. If you are recognized as a top practitioner in Trinidad and Tobago this year by HRMATT, and we create a body or a cohort, like how every other business chamber have it, we can now have a cohort of recognized professionals that we can look to and turn to in terms of examples and templates, in terms of how to. You don't have to reinvent the wheel in some instances. So if companies are doing great work, like, well, I don't want to call any names, so let me exercise some caution here, right? But if we look at last year's winners, right, and recognize like Methanex won Best Organization last year. But when we look at their policies and procedures, and for those of us who are still behind or may not be at that level, we could turn to examples like that and recognize what they've done to make themselves a success and a best place for work. So it's for those reasons we felt it was time to celebrate and recognize, most importantly, because we believe a lot of what is done is unrecognized, and it was time for us to do that. Last year was the first, it was inaugural, and it was splendid. We did get great support from TTT, our official media partners.
Wonderful.
Actually. Right, and this year we are getting support by two persons from here. They told me not to call their names.
Oh, okay.
But two ladies will be there on the evening, serving in different roles, but supporting the media work that needs to be done as we promote and celebrate the work that practitioners are doing. And let me tell you, we are so excited, mainly because of the interest in these awards. It has grown since last year to now, and it was a variety of organizations and individuals. And I think the fact that we introduced 2 regional categories, so originally it was 7 categories, 6 named after our founders, and the 7 being the Volunteer of the Year. And this year we decided to go regional.
Wonderful.
So we have an individual who is doing great work, the Regional Practitioner Award, and then we have Organizational Award as well from a regional perspective, because HRMATT has been doing a lot of more collaborative work across the Caribbean with our regional brothers and sisters and our sister organizations across the region as well. So we wanted to include that aspect in the awards this year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, share with us, how can somebody register or perhaps book a table for the event?
Well, all of this information is on every single social media platform.
Okay.
So we are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Plus, they could visit our website. There's a page dedicated to the awards. The link is available. For a member, an individual ticket is $900. A non-member is $1,000. For a table, the member rate is $8,500 and the non-member rate is $9,000. Okay. So we are encouraging companies to book tables. It is important to again, it's used as a mentoring and as a way to share and to encourage that networking that Olsha was chatting about earlier from the membership perspective. So we want to encourage companies to register and support their practitioners along the journey, because they're working on their behalf actually.
Wonderful.
So why not support that journey?
So viewers, you're seeing on the screen now here the Legacy Awards and Gala Dinner that's taking place on Saturday, November the 11th. We just have a few more moments left, but one of the things I wanted to touch on is the fact that there's also a conference that's taking place from the 7th to the 9th as well. Now, assuming you mentioned that there are regional representatives involved, they're also going to be there, correct?
Right. Yes,
Wonderful.
and we do have some international speakers as well, just confirmed from coming out of California. So the opening day will see a keynote from an international speaker. We will be announcing that on our social media platform soon. But the reason why the conference and awards were so close together is because we wanted, while we had international and regional partners here, to capitalize on that in the celebration. So right after conference, we move straight into awards as well too. And that is the model that we're looking at going forward as well. So we're encouraging B2B, you know, every other chamber and all of that doing it. Why practitioners cannot network and do business at the same time? Why not, if you're looking for technology solutions, compensation and benefit solutions, learning and development opportunities, and we have people in the same space we could connect you with so that you can now make a difference in your organization. You may have your aha moment. You may be open to new information that you can now return to your company and introduce as an intervention as well. So it's all part of it. There's a lot of networking opportunities at this conference. So it's not only about sitting down for hours listening to people talk. But
activities.
at the end of it all, each day we do have networking opportunities, and we want to ensure that the engagement levels are very high and real connections are made across the region.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, both of you. Looking forward to seeing this continue to grow, not just, of course, in Trinidad and Tobago, but throughout the region and the world, let's be frank, as you come together as professionals and make a difference in Trinidad and Tobago. HRMATT Legacy Awards Ceremony is taking place on Saturday, the 11th of November at 6 p.m. at the Hyatt Regency, along with the conference and so much more. So make sure that you follow them on social media. We'll be back in a few moments right here on the Now Morning Show.
All right.